Blessings, beloveds. It's me, Lori Ann Spagna, here with you today. I want to chat briefly about the 999 triple Stargate portal today. So if you're not aware, we haven't even completed the Lionsgate portal of 88. That portal is overlapping with this 999 triple Stargate portal. I'm going to explain this and unpack this for you and what it means. And of course, the 999 triple Stargate portal is going to overlap with the September eclipse season. So we're in for a triple packed portal in ways we've never experienced these before. So let me see if I can bring some clarity. First, the Lionsgate portal, which I'm not going to talk about that. There's tons of videos on my YouTube about that. But it doesn't close officially until the end of Leo season, which happens on approximately the 21st, 22nd of August. So it's still open. And the intensities are beginning to wane, but there is an overlap because the 999 triple Stargate portal has already opened. It started opening on August 9th. Portals begin to open in linear time, typically a month before they peak, and they wean off typically approximately a month until they're completed. So it could even be said that the Lionsgate portal will continue to wean off until September 8th, even after Leo season is over. So these portals now, we've got 3 portals that are basically, open into each other, the 88 Lionsgate with the 999 sort of, for lack of a better word, bleeding into or leaking into the window of the eclipse season. So what does this all mean? Now, I'm not going to explain portals. Of course, you can check out any of the other videos on my YouTube channel to better understand portals if you're not already aware of how they function. The simplest way is they're sort of like tubes in energetic space that amplify and intensify because they're unencumbered by interference, and they allow for energetic up-leveling or shifting or movement or ascending or descending, movement traversing through time, space, really reality, consciousness. Now, if that doesn't already sound like a tongue twister, let me break this down. Let's talk specifically about the 999 triple Stargate portal, because that's really the focus of this particular sharing. The 999 triple Stargate portal, every year there is one true authentic portal, triple portal. And that authentic triple portal this year is 999. It will be at its peak on 999. It'll also peak again slightly on 918 because 18, meaning September 18th, is also a 9. Although that's not a true triple Stargate. The true triple Stargate is 999. So what does this break down? What does this mean? What we're talking about is 3 portals overlapping, allowing humanity to basically choose their time-space reality and to choose to be vibrationally aligned, because 9 is about, in numerology, 9 is about transformation. 9 is about power and control, but really it's about control. And it's about the overall lesson of control is about letting go of control to really relinquishing power in the human sense, an egoic structure, and aligning with, 9 is about alignment, divine alignment, coming into alignment with the divine so that one gains a whole different kind of power, which is union with source, not power over another, but rather power, personal power through divine alignment. In other words, alignment with source. And source can be best defined as the spark, the flame, the infinite, the all that is, the divine, the sacred union. We can define it in lots of ways. We could use the word God, but the word God is typically a human construct that has a lot of religious connotation to it. So while I have no problem with that word whatsoever, and I hope you don't either, because it is a representation, I use it all the time, but it really is the spark, the flame, the infinite, the divine, the omniscient, the omnipresent, the all that is, the one source that is infinitely present, infinitely conscious, infinitely potent. And it is about us coming into alignment with us, which oftentimes means we have to relinquish everything we've believed or perceived about what that was or meant to us in our old 3D paradigm. In other words, it is about divine alignment. 999 is truly about coming into divine alignment with that source, that spark, that flame, the divinity. And through our divine alignment are coming into union with that God source, that spark, that flame, that infinite. That union, we are coming into a oneness and recognition with that oneness that is within us, that we are infinitely connected to. And it does not need necessarily to be defined because it is beyond definition, right? And in this sense, through that 999 portal, we are also talking about massive bifurcation. So let me share more about this because it's really important right now. No doubt you have heard about bifurcation. Many people do not understand bifurcation at all. It's been talked about because a lot of people are mimicking or mimicking what they've learned from their brain. And this is where you get a lot of mis and disinformation out there. When someone learns something through the brain and then they teach about it, they're just mimicking it or they're mirroring it. They're not really truly getting it through their straight alignment with source. So bifurcation overall is where you are saying, I am aligning with this source through a real and true and authentic connection, union with this source, the divinity. I'm not just going to mimic and mirror what's out there in the external world. I'm not going to be just another 3D representation regurgitating what's out there in the world. And this is what's really challenging. By the way, this is showing up now with the whole AI. And if you don't understand, I'm still talking about bifurcation, but if you don't understand, I'm going to do some separate videos on this is the next part of the agenda, right? The agenda in the bifurcation to keep people misaligned from their source, separated from their source. Since religion has been failing, organized religion in so many ways, because it teaches you to align with source through the brain overall. Nothing wrong with good parts of a religion. Please don't get me wrong, because I love religion as much as the next guy. But understand, if you're learning how to connect with your source through a separation, in other words, either a middleman, such as a religious figure, or just only through the brain, which is learning and praying through the brain, that is a form of separation that keeps people in a bifurcation. In other words, duality. In other words, old paradigm. So our job is to come into more union. A 999 triple Stargate portal is about union and alignment. That's what the number 9 is all about. I'm going to break this down more, so stay with me here. So the idea then, when reality is bifurcating, and I haven't lost track of the part where I was talking about AI, is that you're choosing a path of alignment in an amplified window that's going to help you, an amplified portal window that's going to help you align even greater. Or if you're not choosing it, it's going to keep you in a, let's call it Groundhog Day. Again, I've been teaching about this for over 10, maybe more years, maybe even 15. So the bifurcation is, are you going to up level during this period of time, this heightened period of time, which is a window, an opportunity for you, meaning all humans, or are you going to continue in the bifurcation cycle of Groundhog Day, keep repeating over and over by choosing things that are just mimicking, that are just mirroring? And this is the AI agenda. Now, the next level of agenda on earth to keep people separated, right? Because the agendas, we've seen them come and go, to control, dominate, manipulate through fear, right? Whether the fear was some massive, C virus type of thing, or whether the fear was some kind of massive, lockdown, revocation of freedoms and rights. That's just the most recent years. Now, because that, whether it was some old indoctrination that you're going to somehow go to hell, that's many years gone, right? Through some form of religious indoctrination. These things are no longer working. So now the new agenda is going to be, if you're not already starting to see it surface, an AI agenda. Nothing wrong with using tools. AI can be tools to help us There's good and bad in everything. If you don't see that in reality already, that's the game of duality. There's always good and bad. There's always right and wrong. There's always upsides and downsides to everything, right? The idea is to recognize how it serves, use divine discernment, and how it doesn't serve, or how it's meant to keep us stuck or trapped. A 999 triple Stargate portal is helping us to up level so we don't play Groundhog's Day over and over. So we don't keep bifurcating and choosing a path of stagnation, separation, duality, mirroring in an old game, a hall of mirrors where you just keep playing in the game of mirrors and you never get out, where you're always in duality. That's why 999 Stargate portal is so important. It's about breaking free from the bifurcation game. So you're no longer mimicking or pretending, consciously or unconsciously, to get real, true, and authentic connection with Source. You actually are cultivating and developing your alignment with Source so that you're continuing to expand and up level and align with that Source, right? This is the game of the 999 triple Stargate portal, and it will play out in the eclipse season ahead. I'll do future videos on that. It's so important. It's such a huge triple Stargate portal. I want to break it down even more. In numerology, 9, as I've already mentioned, I already talked about what 9 is, right? Alignment, relinquishing of egoic power and control for a greater power that comes through union, which would never be a kind of power that would do harm or detriment to another. Never. It would only seek to do that which is for the most benevolent best, that which is in alignment with God's Source Creator, the divine's will for the best potentials, right? Perfect, pure, divine alignment, right? God's divine perfection, right? That's what 9 is. But people with 9, and by the way, my birthday is a 29. People with 9 are oftentimes, which is also an 11, people with 9 are oftentimes highly psychic, not always, but highly psychic, because they are in some way aligned. The 9 can also be related to the hermit in the tarot cards. Very often it is, because it shines the light for others, and it's sort of risen to a height. 9 is the top of the hill, the top of the mountain. So it's saying, hey, here's the light. Here's where the light is, the divine. Come rise up this mountain with me. Climb the mountain. Like, this is just metaphorical, right? But the idea of a 999 triple Stargate portal is you reach new heights, new levels, and you come into greater alignment. And that does mean sometimes claiming, very often, means claiming your psychic or intuitive gifts and powers, right? Because 9 also has to do with power, but power through alignment with Source, not egoic power that we've witnessed in our old paradigm. So when you add a 9 and a 9 together, it's 18. 18 has to do with authority. 8 has to do with authority. And it has to do with transmuting or unioning with the eternal and transmuting that which is, you could say, the idea of Groundhog's Day, the perpetual cycle of repeating same pattern over and over again that came from separation. It's all in the numbers. This is what I'm saying. Now, if you add another 9 to it, you've got 27, which is still a 9. 18 is 9. 27 is 9, right? Looking at the numbers. So 27 is about unifying 7 with grace, with peace, with harmony, with divine truth. Divine truth. So to come into greater power and union. And what is 27? Discernment. 7 is discernment. Now, there are shadow sides to these numbers too, right? Because 8 can be, authority, external authorities trying to claim power and control, and external authorities related to, keeping us separate, right? That is the bifurcation, where an old paradigm controlled by external authorities tried to keep us through control, domination, and manipulation, secrecy and coercion, keep us separate from our Source. So the shadow aspects play out, right? 27 is lies and deceit in the shadow aspect. Ignorance, right? Because 7 is divine truth, divine grace, divine peace, divine harmony. Well, the shadow aspect will be an attempt to keep that from us, to attempt to create through control, domination, manipulation, diversions associated with non-peace, non-harmony. What is that? War, fighting. So we can see this playing out, right? Lies, manipulation. We can see this playing out on the global stage. So our job during one of these portals is to energetically align, not through the brain, right? The brain is what we're doing right now. You're learning as you're listening. But divine alignment is direct experience, direct participation with the energies, the frequencies, the vibrations that are going to bring you gracefully through this portal window so that you vibrationally attune to that which is true, real, and authentic. Your union, your connection with the spark, the flame, the infinite, the all that is, the divine, not through the brain. The brain has become far too limiting of a tool. It is an important tool that we still use, but we use it in an entirely different way as we union with our source. So that is what this portal is about. And there's more to it, but I think I've covered some of the major bullet points on it. It's a very important portal window. Needless to say, as I do every year on the triple portal, there will be a DNA activations event. It's so much more now. Over the years, I've been doing these, as many of you know, I don't even know. I count the years. 20 years we've been doing these DNA activations. And there's a lot of history on my YouTube about them. I've done a lot of recordings about them, and there's a lot of free activations in there on the YouTube channel. So please take advantage of those. What I am mostly here to say is that they've evolved over time as I have evolved, because this stuff is so incredibly powerful, potent, and effective. We do so much more than just DNA activations. These are typically 3-hour events. The last one was 3.5 hours. We do have a break in there. There's channeling with the collective that we work with, the collective that I'm part of, which is all ascended masters, divine goddesses, sometimes planetary bodies. The last one, we had so much incredible transmission from Mother Earth consciousness. We had a transmission with the whales. The animals come in and share. Of course, angels and archangels come in and share. It's just incredible. The information and insight that comes in, and guidance for us, and tools that we learn. And then, of course, transmissions that are all about energetically and vibrationally up-leveling and attuning. This isn't just about going out and walking in nature and being barefoot, although those things are great too, right? This is just totally next level. And then, of course, yes, we do the DNA activations because they're so important as well. But the transmissions are what energetically allow us to up-level and gracefully, elegantly traverse these challenging windows of time where there's just so much chaos in the external world because people are having massive breakdowns, sadly, and they don't know when their fear is elevating. I have a dear friend right now. I'm watching this friend. Actually, I have quite a few friends who are going through this. They're going through massive breakdown. And I can only give them what they'll allow. And they don't always recognize they're going through breakdown to have breakthrough, but it can be so much more graceful. It could be so much more graceful. These kinds of windows are designed to help us up level, to allow the waves of energy that come through these portals so that we can flow through them with so much more grace, ease, and elegance, and in accordance with God, Source, Creator's perfection. And we're not getting swayed or manipulated by the external mimicking, which is just moving through the whole 3D reality. People just learning through the brain and then mimicking this or mirroring it like a hall of mirrors that never really gets you very far because you're still using the brain. Again, no problem with the brain. Love the brain. But that is not how we expand and up level. Actually, the brain takes a passenger seat when it's done correctly. And the experience with Source cannot be, the brain is too limited. That's all I can say, right? It's direct experience. So, of course, needless to say, I'm hosting an event. As I was saying, I got a little sidetracked there, on the 999 triple Stargate portal date, where we do DNA activations, we do transmissions, we get incredible coaching and healing from the higher realms, guidance and clarity about how to navigate, and tools we can use. It is beyond. It's not an hour call where you just sit there and do a little brief visioning. It's so much more than that. and where your authentic connection will really elevate in a whole new way. You're elevating through authentic, real connection that is up-leveling you. That's not something you're just learning about through the brain. So I hope you'll join me. Of course, it's on the website at LoriSpagna.com. Actually, right now you can still get the Lionsgate at the moment that I'm recording this, but by the time you get this recording, chances are I'll put the link to the new 999 Triple Stargate portal in this recording and below, and you're welcome to join us. You don't have to be there live. What's important is that you participate. Of course, live participation is awesome and encouraged because it's so fun and you get to interact with other people and there's opportunity sometimes for questions. Of course, I do a VIP coaching call afterwards for people who really want to get support and guidance and coaching, and that's one of the ways I make myself available to people at an incredibly reduced rate for people who do want to get coaching and guidance and support. So you can also sign up for the VIP after call. I will put in a link for that as well. So I would love to have you join us. Please do. Of course, it's September 9th, 2025. And by the way, right, the reason it's 999, I think this is obvious at this point. 2025 is a 9 year. This year is all about transformation, and 2025, right? It adds up to 9. So this is your Triple Stargate portal coming up. It is massive. And the transformation for humanity is so big. And I just want to add this last piece because so many people don't always understand how much you can help humanity by participating in this. Because when you participate and you hold the frequency of divine love, divine peace, divine grace, you're doing it so elegantly, so effortlessly, because the divine, the infinite, the flame, the all that is, the source, is elevating you to its frequency as you willingly participate, as you through your free will choice allow. Then in that, we know this from David Hawkins, this came in the last channeling as well, that you are uplifting at least 750,000 other souls who may have no idea. This is just the law. This is true under the law of resonance, universal law, which the laws come in and teach us as well, right? I've been working with universal law for years. So by participating, you're actually elevating the frequency of life on Earth for all beings. You're helping humanity. You don't realize how much power you have to make change by participating in events like this. Maybe you do realize. And the people who come, you know, I have people in the group, 85% of our participants, I say this over and over again because it's such an honor and a privilege. Like, it's so beautiful that typically 85% of our participants are repeat participants. And there are people in the circles who have been doing it with me from the beginning, who are still participating and who are still in the circles. And you guys know who you are, so I totally I'm just so grateful to you, right? It's such an honor to be able to do this work with so many amazing, powerful change agents, transformational agents, you know, way showers, path cutters, light workers, and yeah, star seeds, people who are really doing the inner work, not just talking the talk, but who are actively participating. So to all of you, I just want to say thank you. And I know I will see you. Many of you are already registered for the upcoming 999 Triple Stargate portal. So I will see all of you there. Okay, with that, I'm going to sign off for now. I hope this has been helpful. If it is, please leave comments below and share the video with others. And please let me know what you want to know more about as well, because, of course, I do pay attention, do my best to do videos based on your requests. All right, until then, I'm sending you so much love, and I hope to see you during our live event on the 999 Triple Stargate portal. All right, lots of love. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.